kind of looking for a seat where I can sit down to answer this next question. I've just crossed the dam wall. It is blowing a gale over that side, but I've kind of found a shelter spot here. And this is a very serious question that's been asked. Beautiful sky. So this is a very serious question that's been asked to me, and it's happening all over the world right now. Now, there is a possibility that this video could be deleted. I may be able to get away with it if I don't mention certain keywords that trigger algorithm processes. But Kelly Clarkson is asking the question about what are my tips and my advice about the poisonous injections that are being made mandatory all over the world. And I know this is quite prevalent in the US and Canada. I'm assuming it is in the UK, and also very much so in this country. And for so many years, I have said to people that, you know, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a wild ride. And this is the beginnings. This is only the beginnings. This is psychic interpretation that's bled through over the course of the duration of this drama, because that's what it is. You must know this has all been planned. This has all been orchestrated, and it is to benefit but only a few. And this is about mass control, totalitarian control, and there are many factors and objectives that are being met, but you must know that this has been in the works for a very, very long time. And if you cannot see it for what it is, just, you know, basically by the sanitization and the control of freedom of speech, if you cannot see what is wrong from that fact alone of you being controlled, your speech and what you say is being controlled and monitored, if you cannot see that is not a problem. If you don't see that's a problem, then you know, I would be worried for your future if you feel that way. If you cannot see something wrong with being silenced and not being able to freely speak and speak freely, then there is something drastically wrong with your outlook. What's happening in the world right now is twofold, and that is a massive profit is being made, and it's going to someone, and there is a maddening effort, a psychotic effort to hurt the human race, and that either means degeneration or death. So basically that means profit and depopulation. In anyone's right mind to think that a foreign poisonous injection is okay to take and is safe to take, this is absurd to me. How could you not trust the sovereignty of your body if you feed it and nourish it with all the correct conditions? And I'm not just talking about dietary, I'm talking about mental stimulation, spiritual stimulation, what you watch, what you are exposing yourself to. I'm talking about all facets. And believe me, it's challenging to meet and have complete balance in so many facets of everyday living, due to this mass effort of control, this mass effort of absolute conditioning in the finest form. And believe me, they are masters at what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But you also must know that if it wasn't this, it would be something else just as drastic in order to meet the big grand objective, which is making huge profits, having huge control, and getting rid of the human race. Because, let's just say they come out and they said, look, our world is overpopulated and we need to start getting rid of some humans. Who are we going to choose? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Come on. There would be a more massive revolt than what is already occurring right now. I made a comment on someone's post about poison injections and how people are willing to sacrifice and compromise their own dignity, their own integrity, their own grace for the mere fact of keeping a job, keeping a paycheck. But to me, the comment I wrote was that the injection may be sharp, the needle may be sharp, and you may, by choosing to receive the injection, go throughout your life. But believe me, your integrity for choosing not to subject yourself, your integrity is so much sharper than that goddamn needle. And that sharp integrity will carry you through the epochs of time in this life. And you can say and hold your badge when you're done with this physical incarnation and say, hey, you know what? I did not yield to the corrupt world that earth was at that time. I did not yield to the deceit. I was honest and I was strong and I was courageous and I stood my ground in what I believed in until my very last breath. Saraha. Your integrity is so much sharper than the needle that many people are willing to get themselves injected with, either out of fear, either out of confusion, or because they want their old life back. They don't want these restrictions. They don't want these freedoms gone from their lives. They want to go back to their lives before. Well, let me tell you, honey, your life will never be the same after this. It will never be the same. And as I said, when this all started, even before the whole vaccine thing, even before the vaccine rollout, I had said that they are going to try and fear and scare people into this injection, into this propaganda, into this fear of this virus. And then they were going to roll out the all savior vaccine. And true to form, that's exactly what happened. Not even until the end of the year. And then there was this rumor of, there's going to be some digital passport that you're going to have to get, chipped in with you. That is a reality now, people. That is a reality. It is a reality now that in some places in the world, you have to prove you have been vaccinated. And not just once, not just one vaccine, not even a vaccine. This is not a vaccine. Not just one injection, not just two. Now there's 3 and a supposed 4. People of Earth. The lunacy is hideous. It's hideous. But I'll say what I've said forever. You have to be strong in a time like this. Do not lose yourself in this game, because it is a game. It is such a game. And what is more important is that you don't lose yourself and you keep your goddamn integrity sharp. Whatever choice you make, because you can choose whatever you want. If you want to go and get the injection, that is your choice. If you do not want the poison injection, that is your choice. But the bottom line is that you have a choice. Because what's happening right now is that you are not getting to choose. Things are getting made mandatory. Things are becoming, everything's becoming compulsory. And that is criminal. To have your personal rights of whether you choose to or not get this poison injection, and the coercion of these major governments around the world who are all kissing each other's asses, mainly the big genomics and bioengineering companies around our planet. There's several main pharmaceutical companies that are pushing these out, that are funded 100% by these, mass lunatics, and these just, what do you call them, creatures? Because this is not what man is. This is not what man is. And so this is what takes me back to saying that what is happening is so much deeper than just, this virus rolling out. This stems thousands of years of mass manipulation and control. Because if you think you were free, even before this virus, 10 years ago, check yourself. We have never been on a free planet. This is a slave planet. We have to pay to eat and drink. We have to pay to live on a planet we were born on. We have to pay for everything to survive. And we know when we don't have the means or the ends or the money to do that, how hard life can be. We see it in, some of the most poorest countries in the world, how hard life is. And all people are thinking about is their next meal. How can they feed their child? This is a slave planet, people. It's never been ours. It's never been ours. At least in the eyes of these creatures. So the humans that are rolling this out, they are pawns to these creatures' objectives. I don't know who these creatures are, but I have an idea. And I believe this has been deeply seated and deeply planned for years upon years. And 2020 was the trigger. The gun was pulled in 2020. And so you have to know, we've always lived on a slave planet. We've never been told the truth of what we really are, of what the planet really is, how rich and how incredible our planet is, and the truth of our evolution, the truth of how we've been manipulated as a species, the truth about our cosmic brothers and sisters being here on this planet forever, the truth about how prolific and how populated our cosmos is. All these lies and deceit for such a goddamn long time. People of Earth, I implore you to see through this. And so, Kelly, to answer you, it is your choice what you want to do with your own life. And nobody should be punished for that, because the problem is that there's a lot of people that are policing other people because they don't follow protocol, or they are not following what the government is telling them to do because they are brainwashed by the entrapment of mainstream media, just being projectile vomited out just every single day and night. This is mass programming. This is how people are programmed. And now all of us, you can't not go out anywhere, or at least to certain locations, without wearing a mask. And now it's becoming normal. There is nothing normal about this. There is nothing normal about this. You can't see anyone smile anymore. You can't see people's facial expressions anymore. Everyone's having to cover behind a mask, or you will get a fine. Is that not coercion? Is that not proper coercion? Well, it is. Kelly, honey, you're going to have to do what you believe is right for you and your life. And I will suggest that for everybody watching this video. Only you can make your choice, but stand true with your choice and make it for the right reasons. I know what my choice is, and I am not fazed by what is happening. If you want to get involved with all of it, then so be it. And look, I realize that here in Australia, I'm quite content living in the country. I'm content not living in the city. I am content with studying online. I have adapted my life to a way that the outside world does not affect me so much. And I like that. I really like that. So try and blend in with what is happening, and that means adapting. If you study online. If you've been going on campus, sure, you're going to have to, make a choice. But if you want to continue your study online. If you're worried about food, water, get your ducks in order. I have been saying for years, way before when I was talking about it in Mongolia, the urgency to have clean, fresh water and to have food, to grow food, to learn how to garden, learn how to harvest. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to prepare. But there are so many facets to what's going on, but you have to do what's right by you. And my choice is, not necessarily right for everybody. But I'll say it again. I will fucking die before I ever submit or surrender to the deceit, to the darkness, to the lies, to the coercion, and to the criminal activity that is unfolding in this planet. I will die before I ever allow someone or something to tell me or to force me to get injected. It'll never happen so long as I'm breathing. So my integrity is sharper than any goddamn poisonous needle. So, darling, oh my goodness, you do what's right for you. And whether you're jabbed or not, that's your choice, and I totally accept that that's what you want to do for yourself. But everyone should have the freedom to choose what they want. And I feel a little relief. And I told my girlfriend Melissa this the other day. She actually put me in the direction of it because I'm not reading anything to do with this. But she sent me a link to one of our local politicians, Clive Palmer, who is backing and funding the United Australian Party. It is now the biggest political party in this country. 60,000 members in a month. Everybody is sick of what is happening in Australia. And so Clive Palmer is the first politician that I've heard on a main platform coming out and saying this is criminal what's happening. He has proof of documents that there are several of our politicians that have been paid multi-million-dollar settlements for pushing these vaccines, and he stands by this. He says he's got the proof, and that what is happening is just absolutely criminal, and he wants Australia to be free again. He wants people to have the freedom to choose. I tell you what, I want to trust and believe everything he is saying, because he is our way out of this. Labor and Liberal are, and everybody else, all these politicians are lunatics as well. They're the ones that have been pushing this and pushing this and pushing this. If Craig Kelly gets into power and becomes Prime Minister, I hope to God they keep all their words, because they are talking about, ending the lockdowns, ending the tyranny, ending the dictatorship. Even Clive Palmer mentioned about the Nuremberg Code. I was impressed. He's done his research. And I was just relieved to hear someone in power, or at least with a lot of power, financially and on that level, that can move mountains. He can change the course of our political history for this country. So that gives me some relief. And I tell you what, if he doesn't keep his word, there are going to be a lot of angry Australians, because they are now the biggest political party in this country. In the last month, this has happened. They've got like over 100,000 likes on their Facebook page. People are sick of the lies, the deceit. People know, even if they don't know the background about what's been happening, people have pretty good instincts, and people know when they're being fucked up and lied to. And they're just like you and me. We're all just the same. Most of us are. And most of us just want a nice, happy, peaceful life, kids looked after, you know, just a content life. Most people, I mean, you know, there's a few stragglers that kind of want other things, but most people are good people at the core, and most people just want a nice, happy, peaceful life. I would say, if I could speak for the majority. So people know when they can smell a rat, and I think a lot of people are just so sick and tired of the bullshit that this country has been rolling out. So enough is enough. I hope these other political parties go down in flames. It'll be the first time I will vote consciously and happily for the United Australian Party, because every other time I have not voted. I have not voted. So yeah, it's the first time I'll be happy to vote. I want to believe and trust that Clive Palmer will pull this through, and there will be a turn, and these creatures and this darkness that is shading our world will go. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know something big is going to go down. It's going to be a little more messier before it gets better. But if you cannot see the foolishness and the deceit that's been playing out forever, people, especially these last couple of years, then, you know, I can only send you nothing but love and hope to God that one day you can see through it. But for the most part, people are seeing it, and people know who they are. People are worthy and deserving of a beautiful, happy life on planet Earth. Don't you think? So Kelly, you make up your own mind, but do not yield. If this is worrying you, allow your integrity and your courage and the strength of yourself and your soul and your sovereignty to overshadow everything else. Nothing else matters. Do not fear anything. You are more powerful than you have any idea, any of us know of. We're all very powerful. So don't crumble when it gets a bit shaky and a bit rough. Remember who you are. I send you my love and blessings and strength across the oceans. And sorry for this, this video. I know this video is a little bit brittle, and it's a very brittle subject, but this is serious. It's no joke, and the time to act is now. Love you guys.